Great, I'm ready when you are. Please go ahead and record your response explaining 1. Classical conditioning, 2. Operant conditioning, 3. The differences between the two, 4. Examples of each, 5. Be sure to use technical terms like UCS, CS, reinforcement, punishment, etc. Once you're done, I'll evaluate your response based on the rubric and give you your score. Go ahead and begin.
So now as a student, I can simply click here and speak my response. Here's an example. Classical conditioning is when someone gets rewarded for doing something, like a dog sitting and getting a treat. Operant conditioning is when things just happen automatically, like when you blink if something flies at you. The UCS is the same as reinforcement, and the CS is the punishment. Reinforcement means stopping a behavior, and punishment is when you give someone a prize for doing well. In classical conditioning, learning happens because of consequences, and in operant conditioning, learning happens through association with sounds. They're basically the same thing, but with different names. A real-world example of classical conditioning is giving a kid candy every time they do their homework, and an example of operant conditioning is when thunder makes you feel scared. So after doing your recording, it'll write a transcript of what you just spoke. And you can then upload it, and then it will evaluate. And this example that I gave was of a poor student response. As noted here, I got some of the definitions wrong. There was some confusion between reflexive responses and learned consequences. In the answer, I said that operant conditioning is like what happens when you blink when something flies at you. And see, it caught that, which is good. Again, it said that my definition of operant conditioning was also mistaken. And when I said that operant and classical conditioning were basically the same thing, right here it's telling me that that shows confusion. And so I didn't get a very good grade. In terms of the use of specific terms, again, it says, yes, you use terms like UCS and CS, but inaccurately. And that I also use terms like reinforcement and punishment, but I use them incorrectly. So again, here, terrible score. For classical conditioning example, my example actually described operant conditioning, which is true. And then when it goes over my example of operant conditioning, again, it correctly identified that the example I provided is actually a better fit for classical conditioning. So again, a terrible score. And then it kind of critiqued my clarity and organization. It said my response was short, somewhat jumbled, and demonstrated reversed understandings of key concepts. So in summary, you showed some effort and included key vocabulary, which is great. However, the core definitions, examples, and use of terms were mostly incorrect or reversed. I recommend reviewing the difference between classical and operant, as well as the proper meanings of reinforcement and punishment. And then here it asks, would you like a quick refresher or a study guide to help clarify these concepts?